And we are now 100% live and on the regular podcast. Everybody is back. We are back. If you can hear us, make sure that you can hear us. If you can't hear us, yell, scream in chat that you can't hear us.
Oh.
All caps. Whine and cry
misunderstood
like
what's
our president, and we'll understand that you have problems.
Look, if you say we can't go there, Godzilla, we can't go there.
Yikes.
So, other than that, so what episode is this, guys?
9?
Well, no,
10?
9.
I don't even remember.
11?
It's a new
74?
record.
It's a new high score. That we're at another episode. Oh, Comic Scotty. Being mean to me, of course. Didn't do anything to him.
Well, he's not
Yes.
entirely wrong.
We are actually on episode 8 or 9 because we just finished 8 last week. And so tonight we're going to talk about the new theme lists, the Minion CID, of course, movies.
Of course.
But the first thing we have to talk about is what we're drinking tonight. And since Seth has been on like a water kick lately, and we know his butthole's probably going on fire from the food he ate, what are you going to drink today, Seth?
Tonight, I am kicking it up. You see this big, beautiful yellow glass? No water for me tonight. Tonight, it's ginger ale.
I'm sorry.
And rum.
And rum. Okay.
All right, we're all good now.
Whew.
Everything is right in the world.
And so, John, what are you going to have tonight?
Well, I'm going to start off with a shot of this new one I got. It's Jägermeister Spice, Cinnamon and Vanilla, which is really quite tasty. And then followed up with Seth's absolute favorite drink of mine, Smirnoff Ice.
Smirnoff Ice.
I almost got a drink just for you. I was at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, and they had cans of Four Loko.
Those aren't the alcoholic ones anymore. Those aren't legal anymore.
These were really old.
Oh,
so
in the middle of nowhere. They might be old enough. That's fair.
That was a possibility.
Oh, Four Loko. Never had any. I might be scared, but I'd try it.
My drink of choice tonight is going to be, of course, I am no longer on medication, so Maker's Mark is my drink tonight. I'll start off with, just, one fingers, and then work through all the fingers until I get 10 fingers deep of it, I guess.
Well, that time you're probably unconscious.
Maybe. So,
Maybe.
Here's to everybody. Hope everybody had a good week. Hope everybody has a really good weekend. So, cheers.
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 Something else I'm drinking? Chocolate shake with it from Brahms. So, that'll make it go down really smooth. Seth, what are you working on today, by the way? I see you got like a bunch of brushes in your hand and you're painting something.
So right now I'm working on a special thing. I am working on. Hang on, I got this. I'm trying to be one of the pro painters tonight. I am working on the second of our giveaway models for those who are subscribing to the Patreon. This year, I am unfortunately not going to be able to go back to War Machine Weekend and defend my title, so I am doing all of my War Machine Weekend entries anyway, and I'll just be bringing them to different cons. But this one will be going up to one lucky listener.
Wait a minute. Wait. We give away miniatures on this show?
Oh, yeah.
Wait. But how do I become part of this awesome deal, John?
Well, you have to be a Patreon subscriber in good standing.
What? Do we have a Patreon account?
We do.
What do we do with that?
It's got people on it and everything.
Yeah, what we do with it, well, everyone's nice enough to give us money, which is awesome of them, to help support us and keep the lights on and keep us hosting. And we have all sorts of cool swag for you. Seth's model is given out to someone at random. Dice. We got dice coming. You guys should be seeing dice soon. And also extra podcast and video content. Seth does an awesome video every week or 2, 3. Whenever he gets, every month.
Stop signing me up for more.
All right, month.
If this is your first night, you'll realize that part of the game is get Seth to tacitly agree to do more.
No, month is fine. Month is good. I
That's great.
forgot if it was 3 weeks or a month. I thought it was 3 weeks, but that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Month's all good. And I do my own minis and movies, which I do every 2 weeks, maybe a third one once in a while during a month if I can get to it. But and then we'll do extra content. We're planning on giving you guys some early access to other stuff we do that's not a normal podcast. When I do all sorts of game reviews and all, if any of us do anything like that, we'll give you guys on Patreon early access to that before we send it out through the standard means.
So, with that said, if you're a patron subscriber and you're at the $1 level, you get the pre-ramble, woo woo, which we now have on YouTube for special accounts. If you are at a $2 level, you get the previous thing. Plus, you get an awesome dice, which if you are billed at the $2 level, I will be sending those out shortly. That way we can put all that out to everybody. On top of that, if you're a $5 level, what happens at the $5 level? Do you remember? Oh, you don't? That's our 2-for-1 special.
Oh.
Our 2-for-1 special is not only do you get Seth's awesome, painting instructional video, but you also get John's minis and movie special. And then we jumped up to the $15 level, which is the Seth giving away a miniature painted by him. He will do 5 a month and give those out.
Punching you when I see you next.
I was waiting. I'm like, 5 a month? Holy shit. This happened.
Now, if you're a subscriber at the $15 amount and so on and so forth, you will get a random drawing to see if you can get Seth's miniature. And Seth, now that we've already billed everybody. Everybody's giving us their money. And we appreciate it, guys. It's going a long way. Every single bit of it is going to pay everything off that we've had to pay extra out of our pocket, which we really, really appreciate. It's also helping us do something really, really cool, too, that we will talk about in just a minute. And so, Seth, what miniature are you giving away? Do you have a picture of it?
I do have a picture of it. I can send it live shortly.
That would be awesome.
Because I got some big stuff. So what I have done is I have painted up King Leto from the Iron Kingdoms role-playing game. And I chose this model not only because it's a cool model, it's a playable model in RPGs. People have used it as solo characters. It's also a model that you can't get anymore.
What?
So in theory, you can order it off of Privateer Press's Bits order, but every time I've talked to people about it, they said, yeah, but we don't know if we've actually got any. So on top of it, I built a custom base appropriate for the Lion of the Railthorns, and I'm excited to send this one out. I liked it so much, I considered painting another model just to get it out fast. It's like, I've got a, what do I have down here? I got a Mechanothrall. I'll just paint up a Mechanothrall. But that seems kind of lame. This is the other thing that people should know is that every one of these models is either going to be a solo that is highly playable, or one of the collectible models from Privateer Press, or one of the other companies that sends me something to paint.
Nice.
That's
and awesome. Who's getting that miniature? Do you even know?
Not me, which makes me mad, but I bet you know.
I do know who is getting that, and that's our good friend Ray Baum.
Ray Baum!
Ray Baum is the one that's getting our miniature, so I do have his address, and I will send it to you so you can send it off to him.
All right.
Barry Ray Baum. Yeah. He is the one because he is the $15 winner, and we greatly appreciate it because he helped us pay a lot of bills off to get all this stuff done. Mm-hmm. So, Barry Holmes, if you're listening, you get a free miniature from Seth.
Woo!
And if you want to be part of that free miniature giveaway, you need to subscribe to the $15 amount. It helps keep our lights on. I mean, we have to pay, fees for XSplit, fees for housing, fees for getting the dice people, fees for everything. Locally, our costs are going down. Hopefully they'll go down even more, and we can offer more free stuff. I will be doing a free video pretty soon, and I will be doing a review of uh, what was it? Dark Souls, the board game, pretty soon,
Oh, cool, cool.
and I'll do a video on that one. So, and I'll give that away for free. That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And if you are a patron, like I said, we won't charge you more than 4 episodes, no matter what, no matter how much content we give out. We're only going to charge you 4 times, no matter what. That way, nobody feels like they don't have to be out a huge amount of money.
Can I say one other thing?
$20, and you can.
Um,
Sorry.
how about if I stay on the show?
Oh, okay, so you can do that.
All right.
Sold.
All right. So folks who are thinking about the $15 a month, or $15 an episode, it seems like it's a lot, except that if you do the math, you're still getting I'm taking these up to not just high tabletop quality, but almost display quality. But if I were to do a little bit better, more complicated basing, these could go in competition.
What?
Yeah, so normally, if I were to do a model like this, not only would people pay for the model, they would have to pay for the paint job, and the paint job is a lot more than that. So this is a great way to get some fun pieces for your army or just for your collection. And I know a few people who like to collect. Get on in.
So you're giving away that one this month. What is, or technically last month's? What are you
Correct.
giving away this month?
So this month, I am giving away Gorman. Gorman is the 90-day challenge for War Machine Weekend, so this will be my 90-day challenge entry that I don't get to put in. But I've built a base for him where on the episode we had Chris Surrey, he was talking about pushing yourself. So I actually built a base with one of Gorman's smoke bombs still burning, so it's going to have the smoke pulling off and trailing and wrapping around Gorman, so you get a nice little action pose and some cool OSL.
Wait a minute. I think what we need to do is, since you're doing that, I think you need to take a picture of, like, work in progress, post it to the Facebook account that people can see.
Sounds good.
I think it would be awesome.
This is also Phantom of the Opera Gorman. It's got some fanciness in there.
Is it a PG Gorman?
You send me a PG Gorman, I will paint a PG Gorman.
I had to sell my PG Gorman.
I don't have a PG Gorman.
I had to sell mine.
I was not a PG, I was denied.
Denied.
Or I guess asked.
But let's talk about something that's really cool that's happening. We are actually a sponsor for something, guys. Did y'all know that?
I did.
Alcoholism?
Well, always.
No, sir. Alcoholics go to meetings, sir. We're just drunks.
We are actually a sponsor for War Machine Weekend.
Yay!
We are actually sponsoring part of War Machine Weekend, and if you do not know what War Machine Weekend is, come see me. It was my favorite con of all the year because I get to see all my old friends, get to party it up. We are actually sponsoring the Senior Pro Tour this year, which is probably going to be our thing from here on out because we're all old fuckers and we like doing that.
You know I still can't play it, right?
Well, grow up.
Shit.
If you don't know what the Senior Pro Tour is you have to be 40 years or older and you can play in it, and I run it, and it's just a fun, easy, relaxing, achievement-based tournament. It's not for the super hardcore, blah, blah, blah. It's just stupid, silly things. Like last year, one of the achievements was you had to find Carl Morgan and tell him he looked really good in his pants or had a nice ass, and that was something he had to sign it and do it. So it was stupid fun stuff to do, sort of like Who's the Boss tournament, but it's for older guys or girls. If you're a girl and you want to play in it, more than welcome to. And so we're sponsoring that this year, so we will have our name on the t-shirt. So we'll be on the back. Woo woo. I'm really super proud of that. I love my boy Carl. He's been very supportive. So, being very supportive of us, we're going to be very supportive of him. And our first episode, we did give away 1 ticket to War Machine Weekend. And we're going to pimp the hell out of it because I love that show.
Yeah.
So,
super cool.
Other than that, we have a lot of shit to talk about. We don't have much time to do it in. So, let's get to the boring stuff because I know everybody wants to hear about theme lists. Let's talk about the Blindwater CID. And we're just going to talk about the changes. We're not going to worry about any of the models that haven't any changes. We're just going to look at the models that have changes. And the first one we have is what, John?
The bull snapper.
What? That mean that little bitty alligator?
Yep, little bitty alligator.
What'd they change on him?
Not a big change. Torpid, which is the one where if he destroys a living enemy model with a basic melee attack, he can immediately end his activation after resolved. And if so, he can remove a Fury point. That is now optional, so you no longer have to. It used to be automatic.
That's actually a good change.
Yeah, it is. So now if you end up with the ability to kill more than one model, you can choose to. And if you kill 2 or even 3 with your 2 Fury, potentially, you can then go Torpid after the last one. It's a good quick change for that.
Yeah, and that's an understandable change, making it optional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he gets fat and stupid at the end of it, and loses a Fury point.
Yeah, which is very good Fury management and makes that model potentially very much worth its 5 points.
Yeah. What's our next one?
Throg.
Ooh, I love the Throg model, by the way. I love playing that Throg model because it pisses people off because of what it can do.
He's so cool. I've always wanted to play him, and the more abilities they add, he's starting to get to the point where I feel like he's hitting that stride where he's going to be worth it.
Yeah. What'd they change on him?
Well, they say they changed this point cost to 6, but I checked Warham, and I'm pretty sure the point cost was already 6. But they gave him Pathfinder and Prowl.
I can understand the Pathfinder, and I can understand the Prowl for the model.
Yeah,
especially for what he does.
And that's great for someone like that who, Depth 13, Armor 16 with only 8 wounds, is a prime big gun shooting target. You're like, if you got one of those big guns, like, oh, here's my POW 15 gun on like a battle wagon or something, like, let me just take a shot at this guy because he's not super hard to hit, and if I hit him, I could very well kill him.
Yep.
Now,
Prowl helps him out.
Yeah, helps out a lot.
What's our next one?
Ironback Spitter.
What'd they do to him?
He went down in points to 14. I believe he was 15 or 16. I think 15. I don't really remember off the top of my head. I did another report on it somewhere else, but I don't remember. But down in points for a model that I already thought was probably worth it is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, any point reduction is always going to help a model no matter what.
Yeah, and he's not getting used a lot, and I really love Ironback Spitters. They're very stylistic, and I love that the rules now manage to, encapsulate the style of these guys. He's a big turtle. It's a carapace. Awesome.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
All right, what's our next one?
The Croak Hunter, he actually had significant changes. First off, they gave him Hunter, as befits his name. They gave him Reposition 3, which is super cool for any sort of solo like this who runs around killing dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly is they get rid of Gang Fighter, which was the one where you get +2 to hit and damage if there's another model in melee with him, another friendly faction model, a warrior model. And instead they just made him straight Mat 7.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's a solo. You're not going to take him he's not going to be up there with the group anyway. He's going to be picking out targets.
Yeah, you had to make this thing where like I would use them with the Totem Hunter to try and Totem Hunter would end near somebody, he'd come charge it, and you'd have to really work it to make them all get their value. And this is a good change, so he can run around solo, so to speak.
Okay.
Now we're getting into Warcasters. Malak the Dreadbound.
Mm-hmm.
It was the undeady one. All they really changed was his Death Pact spell, which used to place on a model or unit and give it +2 armor and undead. Now it's cost 3 self AoE control. While in the spellcaster's control area, friendly faction warrior models gain +2 armor and undead.
That's actually a huge benefit.
It is a huge benefit, but for he's Fury 7, so 3 is still significant bit of his Fury total, especially with Mortality that he's going to want to cast, and Revive. He can't do everything, but it's a lot better than just having it in one unit. You can now take a more infantry heavy army and get lots of value out of it. Since the way his feat works, you really want more undead models because all the undead models get +2 armor.
So if you were taking Gatorman Posse, that's a huge stack in armor.
Or even Bogtrog ambushers coming in from the side. If you can just leverage them into the area, suddenly they can be +4 armor. Armor 18 may not seem like much, but if they're engaged, that could be the difference between losing someone you wouldn't normally.
Oh yeah.
Plus, it makes them undead in case someone's got any living shenanigans.
And it's just warrior models, correct?
Warrior models, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely he's a great troop caster.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's our next guy?
Bone Swarm. This is a very underused model. I don't think this change is really going to make him use too much more, but abilities on a model extra that don't cost points always give it a chance. Literally, they just made him steady.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing
it's
big.
a fine change. Like I said, I'm not sure. I might use one, but it's not mostly for the Animus.
Yeah.
He's not going to get super used. The big one. This is actually a legitimate scary change. So everyone perk your ears up a little bit. The Swamp Horror. He went up 2 points to 16.
What?
Yeah, but his tentacles, all three of them, gained Chain Strike.
Oh no. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
No.
Yes. So that they're range 4 during his activation, and they still have pull.
So he's what? Got a thread of 11 inches?
For 811, yes. And that's not counting Rask, where he was already a fucking beast. Now, he's even crazier on Rask. And it's very cool. Makes him a little more thematic. A couple more points definitely pay for that, but I still think it's worth it. It makes him a little better under all the other casters.
Nice.
And it'll be super cool because a lot of people who subscribe to Mini Crate are going to end up with a counts as Swamp Horror.
That's this guy.
Yep, me too.
Not me.
Can't wait for Rhett to play with Swamp Horror. That's going to be amazing.
I think it works that way. But that'd be great if you could put a Swamp Horror on Dahlia and Scarret. That'd be great.
What about Scorn?
Yeah, Scorn. I got cool stuff with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Scorn as much. Don't give them the nice things. Isn't that's been the game for a long time? Don't give Scorn the nice things.
One might say that's like their manifesto. Oh, sorry, Trevor
What-
Christensen. I'm sure he does listen.
God, he doesn't listen. What's our next one?
Gatorman Witch Doctor. He's always been kind of weird, the change of edition, not having as much infantry. So they gave him, they changed Zombify.
Mhm.
So no longer does Zombify make things undead and give them tough. It still makes them undead, but instead it gives them Last Word, which is if the model with Last Word is disabled by an enemy attack at any time except while it's advancing, it can immediately advance up to 3 inches and can make one basic melee attack.
Stupid good, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah. And no free strikes while you're trying on the model while it's moving doing it. Yeah, it's really cool. They also gave it Death Ride a la the Crix guy. They're great.
Dagger Wraith, yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool, which if you don't know what that is friendly faction undead model activating this model's command range gain +1 movement while advancing as far as their normal movement. If only there was a caster who made all of his infantry undead so that you could give a giant number of people, because it's command 8, +1 movement. That would be great. Wouldn't that be a good combo?
Yeah, because it gives you can take 2 of them
Oh yeah.
and spread that out to, a 16-inch area.
Which seems like almost as much as that Warcaster's control area.
Excuse me.
Ooh.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I don't care if there's not a theme that allows me to take those together.
Oh. Rask didn't change, thank God. He was
Yeah,
already
he's
top.
still good.
Yeah, he's
What
still
about
good.
our Shamblers?
Oh yeah, Shamblers are next. They went to 10 points. I think there were 11 beforehand, so
Okay.
sure. I mean, I thought they had some decent playability, and now I think they're plenty good to play.
Before you go to the next one,
Uh huh.
can I talk about the next one?
Hit us.
Okay,
I've
because
got some
I am
harsh, I got some
actually
harsh opinions on this one.
okay. Jaga Jaga. Okay,
Mhm.
one, the model is cool as shit. Let's just go there. I think she's an incredible caster. Her feet, even better. It
Disagree.
just damages things right off the bat, rips things to pieces. All right, yeah, D3 +5, going towards the Haley feat of what it does. Remove those models from play. Each model removed. Target one enemy model within 5 inches of the model removed. They suffer an unboostable magic damage roll equal to the base armor of the model removed. So, depending on what you use, you could do that. But if you do it to, a high-based armored model, whew, you're going to smash some things to bits. But what I think is the coolest thing of everything,
Oh, no argument on this.
because my local meta has been bitching at me for the longest time about Sign's Importance. They're like, fuck you and your feet every turn. Because, of course, I played Vlad with the rocket spams. And they were like, fuck you all to hell. And I thought, seriously, I thought when Kador hit the CID circuit, they would change up Sign's Importance to, battle group only or troops only or something like that. And then when I saw Jaga Jaga and they gave her Sign's Importance and it is not changed, I was like, damn. Hey, Seth, look out behind you. You've got someone creeping up behind you. It's crazy.
What the fuck? What is happening?
Ah!
Tonight's delivery is a farty dog and a half-eaten bag of crispy M&Ms.
I left you some of them, okay?
That's true love. Only leaving you part of them.
It's true.
But going back to this, Sign's Importance with minions and Jaga Jaga is scary stupid.
Pharaoh Brigands with Sign's Importance and Prey.
Oh, that's just, oh my gosh.
You guys can't see it now, but I have a problem.
My minion, our store owner plays minions, and I'm sure he was dancing like a madman.
Yeah. So for full is she actually lost some War Beast points also, which is fine. I mean, you have to balance Sign's Importance, and I feel like her feat is one of the worst in the game.
I mean, it's situational.
It has two good things going for it. The reason I don't say it's definitely not the worst in the game is because, one, it's a magical damage roll, which is cool. Two, obviously, 1.5, you'll get Sign's Importance on it, which is, thinking about it, makes it a little bit better. And two is models destroyed by it are removed from play. So it's not the worst. I mean, it's a serviceable feat, but it's not great. But Sign's Importance makes everything better. Also, she got melee range 2 on her little snake.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know.
Which is cool. She used to be 1-inch range, so reach is good.
I'm sorry, but Sign's Importance for minions.
Oh yeah,
It's scary. It
yeah.
literally is scary.
Especially if you drop it with Battle Host, which is an upkeep, so she can still be reasonably safe camping too with all of her beasts having 2-inch movement, and she'll be +2 armor if she stays near 1, and Sign's Importance. And they have some okay shooting beasts. It's really good that it had to be in Gators. It couldn't have been in Pigs, because Roadhogs with Sign's Importance would be no. It would be no. How about no?
Which,
all right.
I'll reference this back, Sign's Importance, with something in just a second. So what's our next one?
Blindwalker.
What they do then?
Or as I like to call it, the worst war beast in the game. It is now no longer the worst war beast in the game because it went down 2 points to 10 points. So it's now comparable with like a freebooter or something, and I think it's absolutely fine now.
Okay.
Wouldn't seem like 2 points makes a difference, but I mean, it does.
Every little bit helps.
Absolutely. That being said, worst war beast in the game, I still would have used it. Just now,
and it's a cool looking model too. That's what sucks about it. An amazing, cool looking model.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's really good. I mean, armor 20 is good. I mean, the only problem is taking damage from your own Animus is kind of shit. But armor 20 makes up for it. And being only 10 points, like I said, 10-point heavies, anything at 9 to 11-point heavies are good. So, thumbs up. Croak Raiders apparently went to... This is a change from a while ago. Went to 10-17 for points.
Mm-hmm. And this is where I think Jaga Jaga makes these guys stupid awesome.
Because they weren't already? I mean, this edition. Actually, no, they're still pretty good this edition.
The problem is that last edition, I took them with trolls and had an awesome troll list with them. Oh, yeah. But Croak Raiders under Sign's Importance is super good right now then. Mm-hmm. Because, they're Rat 6. Under Sign's Importance, they can hit quite a lot of things now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since she's a Focus 7 caster or Fury 7 caster.
Mm-hmm.
Damage, oil gourd, and then damage from the fire really can piss off a lot of things. You're gonna see beasts and heavy things go down
Oh yeah, I mean,
with these guys now.
boosted POW 10s may not seem like much, but boosted POW 10s and signs of importance. They quickly start chipping away at the big stuff.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You hit them with gourd,
Mm-hmm.
then you hit them with a fire, and so now they are 3d6, 4d6 under signs of importance, dice minus whatever. You're gonna do some damage to it.
Yeah, you're rocking about 23-ish on average, and the potential to spike is much higher with that. So
Yes.
super
Yeah.
cool.
Which, if anybody's looking for some crocators, I have 2 units I can sell. No.
We'll talk off the air, sir. I don't know any.
What's our next one?
Next one, we have to go all the way down to. Well, now we're getting into new models, not
New models.
Yeah, not changes.
All right, what's
think
our new models?
Barnabas, Lord of Blood.
Blood. Okay.
Barnabas 2. It's him and 3 Bone Shaker models. He's only got 23 War Beast points. His armor went up 1. His feat is very weird. Actually, honestly, I would say overall he's very weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reference to corn that I didn't get in his feet. What was that about?
Well, Korn is the blood god.
Yeah.
Right?
And corpses, skull for the skull throne, blood for the blood god.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Oh, thanks. I'm caught up.
So his feat is Death Ritual. Immediately remove from play 1 or more friendly living or undead models currently in his control range. For each model removed, Barnabas gains 1 corpse token, 1 Fury point, or can remove D3 damage points from a model in his battle group. But he cannot exceed his Fury. So, I mean, I don't like feats where you have to kill your own models, but it's not bad.
No, because, I mean, if you think about it, you're going to cast all your stuff to begin with,
And
all
then,
your spells, and then get it all back.
yeah, kill a bunch of models. I mean, if you've got the Shamblers in with him, those are easy, just free points. Because those guys are trash, and losing them is no big deal. He's got a plethora of special rules that I will run through all the easy ones pretty quick. Well, not too many. He's a Warlock unit. He's obviously a Gatorman. He's amphibious and tough. He has Bone Pile. When a model in this unit destroys a living or enemy undead model with a melee attack, he gains the model's corpse token, and the destroyed model is removed from play, which is cool. And he can have 3 corpse tokens. He is meat fueled, so he gets +1 strength for each corpse token. Keep in mind, he's base strength 9, so it puts him to strength 12, which makes his axe, I don't know, POW and strength 18, and his bite, POW and strength 17 grievous wounds.
Yep.
That's pretty scary shit.
Yeah.
He has Sack Pawn Bone Shaker, which obviously he can pawn off his hits to from range attacks to his Bone Shakers, who are just pretty much trash. They're not very good, but they're not very bad either.
Well, free sack pawn is awesome to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to die from it because they're only Def 12, Armor 14. But, I mean, hey, we could address them in a second. He has Tide of Skulls. During the control phase, this model can spend 1 or more Corpse Tokens to add Bone Shaker models to his unit. For each Corpse Token spent, add 1 Bone Shaker model, plus you place information within 3 inches of another model unit, and they forfeit their combat action. And you can't have more than 3 in play at one time.
So the basic technique is you sack pawn, bring 2 back. Sack pawn, bring it back.
As long as you've got corpses to do it, and he needs to get in there and stuck in. His spell list is also very weird. I'll go with the 2 spells that we know what they are first. That is Blood Rain, which is shitty nuke, decent one, but and then Rebuke, which is a very good spell. The target model unit cannot give orders, receive orders, or make power attacks or special attacks. And then the weird ones. He's got Hunter's Mark as an actual spell on him, which I think is the first time we've seen it as an actual spell on a spellcaster. It's always been like Dogpile or something crazy different. This is just straight up Hunter's Mark.
Lanissa.
I meant on a caster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not on a solo. On an actual Warlock Warcaster. It's just strange to see that. And then his other one is Execration of Blackest Night. Just costs 3 control area spell. While in the spellcaster's control range, living and undead enemy models suffer -2 to their attack rolls, which is really good. It is probably a less obnoxious version of Starcrossed.
Yes.
Similar effect, but not as swingy and not as pain in the ass. He looks like he's another melee caster who wants to go in on some, with lots of troops, or a fair amount of troops and decent defense stuff, and mix it up. So that's cool. I mean, I wish in Mark II he would have been freaking amazeballs.
Oh yeah.
Mark III, he's interesting.
What about his troop that he brings with him?
His Bone Shakers, they're Speed 5, Mat 6. They have Dark Shroud, and they have Power and Strength 10. So they're no great shakes, but they're not terrible.
Yeah, but if you consider, if Barnabas comes in, say he charges in, spends all his fury, gets up to, POW 18, you're technically POW 20 against whatever you're going to be hitting due to Dark Shroud, pops his feet, gains that back, and gains 1 fury point for each one, so he can remove how many?
He could move as many models as he wants.
Up to his fury stat, so he could do.
Well, he could also get
attacks.
corpse tokens if he doesn't have them. He can get corpse tokens to drop his strength up to.
Yeah,
up
that's what
to
I'm
18.
saying.
Yeah.
So he could technically go in, beat the crap out of something as much as he could, boost hit, boost damage, whatever he needs to. Technically hit in maybe 4 times, boost the damage, pop feet, kill 7 models, get 3 corpse tokens, get 4 fury points, and go for 4 more attacks.
Or he could just he could Hunter's Mark and Execration of Blackest Night, pop his feet to get his corpse tokens immediately, and refill his fury there, and get the long charge and go from there. So he's definitely got some good play. It'll be interesting to see.
Okay. What's our next?
Next is my absolute favorite model coming out here, and that's Long Chomps. The Gatorman with the heavy rifle. It's Gatorman Alt Ashley.
That's right.
He's Mat 6, Rat 6, Def 12, Armor 16. Only 5 boxes, which I thought was surprising. Because so many of their solo... Yeah, because it's weird. He has Advanced Deployment, Amphibious, Pathfinder, Tough, and Bushwhack. So he can make his combat action before his movement. Mm-hmm. He has Cover Tracks, which is immediately after resolving a range attack during this model's activation, which destroyed an enemy model. He can perform his Trapper special action. His Trapper special action is place a Thornch AoE in base contact with this model. The AoE remains in place for 1 round. Living and undead models entering or ending their activations in the AoE suffer a POW 10 damage roll. Models damaged by it are knocked down. Models with flight are not affected, obviously. And then he also has Marksman, which is when damaging a Warjack or Warbeast with a range attack, he can choose the column that suffers damage. He's got a range 12 POW 14 gun and a half-inch melee range POW and strength 12 bite. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's actually not bad. I mean, his Rat 6 is iffy, depending on what he's shooting at, but it's not bad. Because he can aim to an 8. So, and since he's got advanced deployment, he's going to be up there, so he's not having a lot of problems. He's a great solo.
And range 12 is good enough where you can aim frequently.
Yeah.
And he's only 5 points, so that's not bad.
Correct. Yeah, he's not horrible at all.
Yeah.
I'll take 2.
You take 2.
He's a character, dork.
I'll take 2.
Well, then you buy him, and then you buy Alt and Ashley.
Look, as long as they play for my elves, I'm happy. Continue.
No. No one likes the elves, I'm sorry. Gatorman Husk. They're basically running bombs. I'll go through their melee stats first because they're not that impressive, but they're not terrible. They're Mat 5, Speed 5, Def 12, Armor 16. They actually have 8 wounds, which is good. And PAL 13 melee, which is pretty solid.
It's everything else.
Yeah, they have Advanced Deployment, Amphibious, Undead, Ambush. They have Carnivorous Swarm. When this model is disabled, center a 5-inch AoE on it, then remove the model from play. Living models in AoE suffer a PAL 12 corrosion damage roll. The AoE is a cloud effect and hazard that remains in play for 1 round. Enemy living or undead models entering or ending the activation suffer 1 point of corrosion damage. He's also got Hyper Aggressive, which is cool. And then the one I really thought was kind of cool is Eruption of Flies. When this model suffers damage as a result of an enemy attack or entering melee or range attack, after the attack is resolved, this model can target the attacking model with a Spray 8 PAL 14 range attack roll that causes corrosion damage. And it causes auto corrosion also. And he can make it while on melee. And he's Rat 6.
This is my favorite model, one of my top favorite models in the entire Minion faction right now. For one thing, they're FA3 and they're 3 points.
Yeah.
For 3 points, ambushing models that could get into the back line and throw up the Carnivorous Swarm and Eruption of Flies, and for scenario pieces, oh my gosh, they're super cheap. They're, I mean, yeah, their stats, speed 5, so they're 8 inch, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 and a half inch threat from an ambush.
Not bad.
Not bad. Hyper aggressive, yeah. If you don't kill it, it moves up forward, and the Eruption of Flies, oh, I hit it and don't do damage, I don't kill you, well, here's a spray 8.
Yep.
The Carnivorous Swarm, super good, because you're going to kill anything that's in the POW, troop-wise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And if not, it's got corrosion, and if it doesn't make it, boom, and it's a cloud effect.
It actually doesn't do auto corrosion on the explosion. It just does corrosion damage. Now, the Eruption of Flies does auto corrosion, but not the Carnivorous Swarm. That was probably been too good.
Well, it says that they do enter or in their activation, they suffer corrosion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So either way, that is an extremely good scenario piece.
And more funny is that, is he undead? Since he's undead, if you have multiple running together, if he explodes, he has no chance of killing the other one because only living models take the damage from the explosion. Yeah. Undead will take it if they start or end in it, but
it's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, he's very cool. Now we get to the big guy, the Dracodile, who is the Gatorman Gargantuan.
Mm-hmm.
He's speed 5, he's mat 6, def 10 armor 19, 4 theory, 8 threshold. He has 54 boxes, which is pretty good.
Pretty decent.
His animus is Floodwaters, which is well within 5 inches of spellcaster. Open terrain becomes shallow water. He's also amphibious. He's Assault, Pathfinder, Maneater, so he can charge living warrior models without being forced. Mm-hmm. And he also has snacking. For weapons, I'm going to skip. He's actually got 4 melee attacks.
What?
He's got a bite, 2 claws, and a tail. Bite is POW 19. His claws, 1 each in the left and right, and the bite can go the full front arc. Is both POW 17. The tail is full front arc and is POW 17 and crit smite.
Let's talk about the one thing that scares the shit out of everybody.
Oh, you mean the acid breath, the spray 10, POW 14 corrosion weapon range attack with blind on a hit?
And yeah, and it's an assault weapon on top of that.
Mm-hmm. He can do a lot of damage.
5, 6, 7, 8, an 18-inch threat with that gun.
Or even better, because he's assaulting something. If you just leave it there or get, say, Jaga Jaga, who we were talking about earlier, who gives him +2 movement. So he's going to have a 12-inch threat with his melee, assaulting, hitting like anything. -4 means his mat 6 is probably going to hit it. And
I
then
mean, you're going to mostly have to boost to hit most things with a Rat 5, but still.
Yeah. But then, POW 14 that, then all the other ones on a blind. It's really good. It is 37 points.
Not bad.
Yeah. So still a bunch left. Let's see if we can get through a bunch of these pretty quick. Croak Trappers. It's a small unit FA2. It's 1 leader and 1 grunt for 4 points. Rat 6, Def 13, Armor 13. They have AD, Amphibious, Immune to Corrosion, Pathfinder, Prowl, and Reposition 3. They have Net, range 4. On a direct hit against an enemy model, all models hit become knocked down. And hand weapons for POW 8. So they're just a 2-man guy running through some nets and try and be a pain in the butt. They're not bad. The Quack, Slick Spine, and Gub Croak Sorcerers is a single base model. 4 points. They're amphibious, immune to corrosion, and they have a magic ability. Magic ability 7. With Enliven, which is really awesome, especially in another faction besides Menoth. They also have Heal D3, which heals any living faction model. And it's base-to-base range. The Enliven's command range, which is 7. Mudfoot, which is a range 6 magic attack. Model unit loses Pathfinder and treats open terrain as rough terrain, which is pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then Venom, which is, of course, the age-old spray 8 magic attack with POW 10 corrosion and continuous corrosion. But what's cool is share the load. Once per turn when this model makes a magic ability, special attack, or special action, immediately after the attack or action is resolved, it can make 1 additional magical ability, special attack, or special action.
Yep.
So you get 2 spells from it, which is cool.
Oh yeah,
It
really
will
good.
also be like Enliven and Heal, but Venom in a pinch. Doesn't say you can't use the same one, so you can Venom. Mudfoot's really cool because its model unit loses Pathfinder, though since it's within 6 inches, unless you got some way of getting them out of here, you're probably dead afterwards.
Yep.
But sometimes you got a wall to hide behind, or you get the walls between you. Now they can't charge over it. So, I mean, he's not bad. For 4 points, he's great.
Yeah.
Gatorman Soul Slave, which is a minion attachment for... it's the Gatorman attachment to a caster. He's Amphibious Undead. He has Arcane Assist, so while the Warlock's in command range of 1, which is really shit, I just noticed 1. That probably needs to go up. He can upkeep 1 spell without spending Fury. Ooh, 1. Yikes. He is pretty tough with armor 17 and 8 boxes. He also has Magic Ability 5 for Bone Shaker and Spell Slave. So, none of those are terribly good, but for 4 points for a caster attachment that's reasonably durable, he's not terrible.
Yeah.
I feel like if they make his command like 4 or 5, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, a command of 1 is really, really...
Yeah, it means you have to be... Yeah, I think that might have been a misprint or something. We'll have to see. But, hey, it's a CID. We got plenty of time to say that.
Yep.
The Boil Master and Spirit Cauldron is very weird. It's basically like a pot for minions, but it doesn't actually bring out more models. In its command range of 10, it gets corpse tokens, maximum of 5. You can spend corpse tokens to boost one attack or damage roll. It has Magic Ability 7 for Puppet Master. Seasoning the Sauce, which gives it itself D3 corpse tokens.
Which is cool.
Or Spectral Lash, which is range 10 POW 12 magical attack. And if it's hit, it can be pushed D6 directly towards Special Lash. Special Delivery is its other real rule, which is once per turn, anytime during its activation, it can remove any number of corpse tokens and place them on friendly faction models that can gain corpse tokens within 5 inches of it.
What? You mean like that new caster they got?
Yeah, I know. Crazy, huh? or Bone Swarms, which when they get corpse tokens on them are actually good.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. The Boil Master and his dudes are not very impressive. I mean, they're little Gatormen, but they armor 12, def 12, armor 16, pound strength 12. It's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Mat 5's kind of. And then Void Lead, which is a minion weapon attachment. 1 point. He can be attached to any minion unit with Amphibious, so no attachment to Gatorman, sorry. Or not to Gatorman, to Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
He's Amphibious. He has Mage Static, so while information magic attacks targets will have -5 range. And Wasting Power. The spell can use Wasting Power at any time during its activation. When it does, enemy animal and upkeep spells and models in the unit immediately expire, and this model is removed from play.
So it's sort of like the Elven one, the Void Tracker, or no? Not
It's
Void
actually
Tracker.
like
The
the
Soulless
Soulless
Escort.
Escort.
Yeah,
Soulless Escort, yeah. I mean, which they're only 1 point. I could see running them with Croak Raiders.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and they
Same
die
thing.
when they use their remove upkeep, but generally you don't do that more than once really a game, to be honest.
No.
And the way it's worded means you can do it even when they're affected by certain things that might prevent the Soulless Escort from doing theirs.
I mean, I could see, for 1 point, I could see that being used in certain units.
Yeah. And then the next is the Bone Shrine. It is basically just a little model that sits up there. It has distant deployment, which is deploy the same time as your AD models, up to 12 inches beyond your deployment zone. It's a mobile. It's a construct. It is a channeler, so you can channel spells through it. It has a circular vision. You get 2 of them. You get 5. You get 1 of them for 2 points. 5 damage boxes, armor 18, and it begins the game with 1 spirit point during control phase. This model receives 1 fury point if it doesn't have any. And during the friendly warlock's activation, it can take 1 fury point for this model and gain that fury point. Go to it once per turn. When the fury point's removed, though, you roll a d6. On 1 or 2, the spirits become angry and curse the warlock, and he's -1 defense and armor for 1 round. So it's a very interesting take on the racks.
Yes. I think the ability to use it as a arc node is really, really cool, and the ability to take and use it as, a fury point is actually pretty neat too.
Yeah, but not like guaranteed. I mean, they kept the cost just absolutely cheap, which is cool.
Yes. And the advanced deploy part of it, or
Oh,
distance deploy,
just deploy, yeah.
is really, really good in my opinion, because that helps out when you need something particular.
Yeah, and if that's 2 points. If they're wasting good shots on it, it may not matter. It also might be good if your caster's one who likes to go forward a lot, but you have some stuff staying back you might need to cast spells on. You can deploy it further back and just arc spells into the back line then.
Well, I mean, like I said, you could use this. Just think about the new Barnabas. Goes in, pops all this stuff, takes all his fury back, takes some from them, blah blah blah. Yeah, he's a fury. It's a good fury bank.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole CID. Interested to see where this goes. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Very pleased with all the new models, and not really upset with anything, honestly. It was all pretty solid.
The only, I'm looking at this and I'm checking with all my other players, and like I said, my meta is very competitive. The only thing that I could see possibly changing, besides that 1 inch, is some people think that the auto blind on the Dracodile is too powerful, that it might go to crit effect, and I'm like, I could.
Doesn't another Colossal already do that?
Well, they're thinking about, instead of being blind on an auto spray, they were thinking that it may just be better as a crit on hit, because that's really freaking powerful. And I can see both ways.
Doesn't the Mountain King do something similar automatically?
Mountain King used to.
I'm
I
pretty
haven't,
sure
I
he
haven't played my
does.
trolls in forever. Here, I'll look at my trolls. It's been a while since I've played my trolls.
Yeah, I recall him doing something similar on just a hit also.
I think he knocks back, but I think because the blind.
It was something similar, like it might be on a crit. I might be
Let
crazy.
me check. It's been a while since I played my trolls. Models hit suffer -2 defense and cannot give or receive orders.
Yeah,
So,
so
-2 defense, but that's -4. So that's kind of, I guess, I can see where they're going
but
with
it's
that.
shakeable.
Correct, it is.
So interesting. I don't think that'll necessarily go away, but it's definitely worth them looking at.
Yeah. I could see where people would say that it would be too powerful if you could definitely give him a boost to his rat and make him, if you had him stand still and aim, that would be, goes to a 7. So possibly. But I like him. He looks like he could be a lot of fun. Hopefully the model's badass looking too, like it is in the picture.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Gators are getting their, Dracodile.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they can finally shut up. I mean, be happy. I mean, no, they really needed it.
No,
they did
it's
need
all good. Yeah.
So we only got a few more minutes left to talk about theme forces. We can go a little bit over, but I think we should probably just talk about what was changed and what the big changes were.
Well, most of the big changes I saw were the way they changed what you get free points for. Some of the ones that were super limited, such as Defenders of Ios, which only got points for like 4 things you had in your army, or I guess 5 things. Now it's just all the units and solos to bring it more in line. And then Heavy Metal went to 30 points per free model, so it couldn't just go taking all jacks, because all of my solos are covered. All the solos I really want are covered by the free points. So that was kind of cool.
I know that once, of course, being a Kador player, there was a ton of salt thrown around. And I can see both sides of it. Okay, Jaws of the Wolf is an amazing list. The ability to not super powerful.
Do you want me to talk about it or want me to skip it? Because
No. Here's my thing. I don't have a problem with them losing advance, changing it to ambush. Okay,
it's
because and here's my point. I would rather have advanced deployment than ambush, but right now, ambush is really, really out there a lot now. So I could see having the ambush out there. My biggest issue with them taking away advanced deployment is not a negative on Kador, it's a negative on the players, because players are buying those models and advanced deploy is part of the cost of those models.
So the problem is, on the other hand, is the models that pay for ambush pay a lot more.
That's what I'm saying, and so I can understand a lot of players being upset. Not Kador players, other
never.
players being upset about that. The Cato players that are upset about it, well, I'm sorry, guys. We're going through a part of the thing where it's hindering that person
So they
too
made the
much.
right choice because ambush is a choice that you don't always make. Um, well, they
Correct.
kind of made the right choice. Advanced deployment, not having it, literally changes the way 8 out of 10 players deploy their army every time. And there's a lot to the muscle memory of this is where this goes, this is what this is supposed to do.
Uh,
Now, I feel
Can
they
I?
shouldn't have either one of those fucking rules in a fucking theme list because you should not take away something someone else paid for. It
Correct.
is the wrong thing to do. It fits the theme. I don't want anyone to think I don't think it's a theme. In a theme world, if this was theme world where it's all fun stuff, absolutely great, perfectly thematic. But whew,
Now, the one thing I am pretty ticked off about PPE about is them adding Assault Core to the Winter Guard theme list. That just makes okay. From a fluff standpoint, yes. From a standpoint of we put these assault commandos in here, they do nothing for the army, they give no benefits from the army, they get nothing from the benefits, so it's worthless. It's worthless to put them in there because they don't add towards the point cost to get free things. They don't receive any benefits from the free things. So why would you even put them in there to begin with? I guess I understand the fluff reason, but honestly, as a tournament player, there is no freaking way I would put Assault Commandos in my Winter Guard theme list. There is no reason whatsoever. It's stupid. There's nothing behind it. It's it to me it was here's you a bone because you wanted to play with your Assault Commandos. It doesn't do anything for me.
yeah, it's. I'd have to really think to see if it's thematic or not. If it is, cool. If not, then
Well, it's thematic for the simple fact that they come from the Winter Guard, but that's it. So I mean, it just annoys the crap out of me.
so what that was is we need to get all the models in a theme list so you can play them all the way that they intend the game to be played. And
Pretty
then
much.
later they'll go back and make this is the list that they quote unquote belong in, not one you can take them in if you want.
Correct.
It's a larger problem of making theme lists the default way to play. I won't get into full discussion of that because that's just me ranting for a while. But it makes it harder to use certain models because sure they got a spot here, but they're not even being ideal. They're not even necessarily good in the list. They actually take away. So we'll have to see how that plays out with future. I mean, it's still everyone out there listening who if you're on the fence about theme lists, I'll give them another 6 months at least before you even think anything, about anything drastic.
Well, I mean,
They're doing a lot of stuff back and forth, so they're doing a lot of work to try and make it better.
yeah. I mean, the Assault Commandos do have a UA coming out, so we'll probably see another theme list for them that'll be into it. I just didn't understand that, and I love the Assault Commandos. I think they're an awesome unit. They're really cool. Want to play with them, but they're from a competitive standpoint, they're worthless.
They are Company of Iron fodder. They will be great in Company of Iron.
Oh yeah. Another thing that we didn't even talk about: all theme lists can now take certain minions and mercs, one
Mm-hmm.
solo, one unit, which I had to clean my pants after I found out that Reinhold would be let me used in Jaws of War, or Jaws in my Jaws list because I have Old Witch 2 in that. Reinhold with Old Witch 2 in my list is balls amazing. Not only can Old Witch 2 shoot twice, if I need to, I can get rid of the stealth of that model. And I have some guns in there that can help out. I'm not too worried about Ghost Fleet because what Old Witch 2 can do with her spells. And oh, Denny, she's stealth. No, she's not. And now I'm going to shoot her to death. So, I mean, taking Reinhold in that makes me happy. And it might be a little too powerful because Old Witch 2's gun being shot twice is stupid good.
My capsule opinion, because if I gave my full opinion, it'd be another one of those rants. This is the worst mistake they have made in theme lists. You've taken away the only reason you would possibly play out of theme.
Correct.
You've taken away the advantage to playing out of theme. And you need to think twice about this shit. I mean, it's too late now because you're not going to take models away from people at this point, probably. But, I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't. I can see why they wanted to do it, but now they are limiting some things because I know in Wolves of Winter there are certain models that we can't take. To me, it seems like it needs to fit theme of what models can be taken. No, like Ogre and Bakor, since I have that really awesome, sweet PG version that Seth painted up for me, I'm looking to fill that because an Ogre and Bakor in Khador is very, very nice.
There should be a selection of mercenary models they're like common mercenaries or something that you can take all over the place. Absolutely agree, that'd be fine. But the characters and all should not be allowed in theme lists because that destroys the concept of having theme versus non-theme. If you want it to be that way, PP, just stop making the general list available and say you have to play in one of these themes. Choose one and make your army. There are plenty of games that have done that. I mean, it's because it destroys it, and some of us are not fans of theme lists to start with. Well, you see that, and we're just like, why?
I mean, I've been waiting when they said they could do that to see if I could put Reinhold in with Old Witch 2, and the range 12 carrying gun shooting twice is amazing. I mean, 2 4-inch AoEs that blind everything. I gotta change my pants.
And the worst thing is, it's not like mercenaries are like this even thing. Seth, how excited are you for adding mercenaries to Ret theme lists?
Oh, you mean Silena?
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly, like, I looked at it and I thought it was a neat idea, and then I thought about it in terms of Ret, and I was like, that doesn't do anything, especially since Lanissa was the one minion that we were taking very regularly, and now she's partisan retribution anyway.
But that means you can take her in the theme list even if she's not included.
Correct. So when I started thinking about it that way, it meant that some of my theme lists that exist now are just my Mark II lists. So my Ron Forges of War list, I'm just pulling out a solo and throwing in Iris 2. Why? Because, Iris 1, because, taking away people's fury is really fun right before you kill them.
Yeah.
And drag them to death. I don't know, it seemed like a really strange thing to do, since theme lists were so carefully controlled, and then to open it up quite so much was strange as well. Does that mean that we're going to have to expect down the road Merc models are going to come out with a lot more animosity towards particular factions?
That's a great idea. That should be more in the game, I would agree. That'd be cool. This is just, like this, they came out and said that theme lists are the way to play the game. So keep that in your mind when you're looking at this stuff. It's the reality of the situation. And they're trying to make it so you can play more fun models in your themes to make you happy.
Here's an example.
Go ahead.
Of why I think this could be a problem, is because I've already started talking to all my players of what can we break, and Madeline Corbeau, okay, she has Parlay. While in this model's command range, enemy warrior models cannot target this model or its warcaster with attacks. Period. Okay. Now she's got a command range of 7, so it's no big deal. Now you combine that with Resnick 2. While this model has 1 or more focus points on it, non-magical ranged attacks targeted automatically miss.
Yep.
So the only thing that can touch him is pretty much construct models,
spells,
warjacks, spells,
warjacks and beasts.
Yep.
Only certain beasts.
Yep.
And if you've got, what's his character Jack who then has spell denial?
Oh yeah.
Right. Like that becomes a triple play of terror.
Yeah.
True, absolutely. But just so I don't think everything's I'm not negative on everything. I'm very pleased to see that in the list for Kane 3, mercenary list where Kane 3 is legal, they have confirmed you can bring Ace, and he becomes the mercenary model while in there. So, hats off for doing the right thing there.
That's good.
Yeah.
I know that there were some bugs, and people are still waiting to see if certain things go in, where, like wolves can take certain character mercenaries.
Mhm.
We don't know 100% because hopefully it'll do it. It did open some things up. I know that Jaws can now take Yuri for free.
Fine.
Which is good. Well, he's a 6-point model, and it was just way too expensive to field.
Fane Knight, what? He's 8 points. You can take him for free. I mean,
Yeah.
I like that some of the ones that have a more difficult, any of the ones that are infantry based for what they can take for free models, opening up the more expensive models is fine because they can't get as many free models as the Jack ones.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I am hopeful for the future on it. Like I said, we're a good 6 months to a year before this is all sorted out, and they're really just doing CID stuff. They need a little more time to get it all sorted out, get some more hard tournament data to see what they need to do.
And a lot of you, I would say a lot of players, a decent amount of my players, were talking about that they were really surprised that there wasn't a change to Ghost Fleet, because Ghost Fleet is exceptionally powerful and exceptionally good. And we sat and talked about it, went through it, and my opinion is Ghost Fleet as a theme is solid.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't do anything, that doesn't make anything crazy. What makes that list more powerful than anything isn't the theme, it's the caster they bring with it.
Yeah, it's the so this is the thing we've always said is when we saw the first couple theme lists, Cephalix, which as a note also you can now take your models I hope you didn't sell, the bloat thralls, the machine wraiths, and the other guys with the guns. Brain stop. Pistol wraiths. You can now take them again. And then Kingmaker, which was the first one, had limited caster selections. So it's all like, oh, this is going to be a handful of casters, cool. And then they didn't do that, which I think is honestly probably the part of the theme list that needs the most change, that would be the most difficult for them to change now. Is to limit it to the casters who thematically fit in there.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Fleet, Iacos, both Scars, Terminus. I'm sure you can make a case for someone else, but definitely not Denny 1.
Denny 1 is, in my opinion, I think the problem that is what Ghost Fleet is. Just because her feat is so ball breaking.
She's probably one of the least fun casters to play against.
Yeah, she really, 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 really screws with that. That makes that list ball breaking. And that's the thing. As a theme, Ghost Fleet is fine. It's the casters that come with it that give it such a problem.
Yeah, so they're going to let us, they've actually said so much, they're going to let us, the community, figure out how to defeat it. So, hey, work on it. I mean, it is fun to have a mental exercise of how do we defeat this list. And don't give up. Keep going. I mean, that's hard work is how you get through all this stuff. Talk with your buddies. Get on your Facebook groups, on your forums, whatever. Talk about how to beat it. You guys will come up with something.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation about that as far as Rhett was going. And one of the themes that is not seeing nearly as much play is the Shadows of the Retribution, which is the Mage Hunter list. Because a lot of people, I think, were thinking, well, I'm going to remake Will the Nine Voices, which was the Raven theme. Somebody realized that this is actually a tremendous counter to Ghost Fleet. Because all of your melee models get RFP.
Yep.
And deny tough.
Yep.
So you just throw a bunch of Invictors out there. Now, the problem is then making that list work into anything else.
It has some play. I've played Gareth with that a couple of times. It has some play, but your other list has to be much more generalist, which is probably Defenders of Ios, so they can do it.
Yeah.
But we should probably get on the movies before we go on this for a while. We could do a whole podcast on this.
Yes. Hold on a second.
Is that a suggestion?
Maybe we'll see how it rolls out. I think maybe next time theme list release, we do a podcast on theme lists and do the CID one separately. I didn't realize we were going to talk so much about CID, but hey, it was all good.
No, it was good. It's what we were going. All right, so let's go to our movie media section.
Movies.
I don't have a ton to talk about, but John, this is yours. Go for it, buddy.
I watched 3 movies this week. I'm going to list them and then I'll go through them and we'll alternate through. Monday I watched Cradle to the Grave because I can't get Exit Wounds for free anywhere, and this was free. Then last night I had my buddies over and Not Brushhead Dave's picked Clue to watch, which is cool. And then Norin picked The Lone Ranger to watch, which was less cool. So Cradle to the Grave is from the exact same guy who did Exit Wounds, which was a surprisingly good movie with Steven Seagal and DMX. Surprisingly good. This is not that good. He's also the same guy who did Romeo Must Die, which is another good Jet Li movie with, that was way better than you thought it was going to be. This is not that good either. This is Jet Li and DMX. It's not bad, but it's just like a little scattershot. They're all very nice, like not killing everyone, robbers, which is cool. It's the sort of the new thing. You make your heroes have to be, your protagonists have to be likable, and them killing people doesn't make them likable. And the whole idea is they're contracted to steal something. So they do. They lose part of their stash, and because Jet Li beats up the guy who hired them and finds out where they're going, and beats up one of the guys, takes half of their haul, and they lose the other half because they're on top of a train and it's in motion. And they drop it because you don't put your backpacks on your back where you can't lose them. You hold them in your hand. That's what you do. But in any case, so all they have is he's trying to make money off of these things. And the bad guy who is, what's his name? Mark...
Wahlberg?
No, it's the guy who does the Iron Chef. He's an old martial artist, too.
Yes.
Last name starts with a D. My brain stopped. It's okay. He's the bad guy, and he's not willing to bargain at all. And it's got all the same people they've been trying to use a lot. Anthony Anderson's in it. He's reasonably funny. Tom Arnold's in it. He's reasonably funny. And there's some good Jet Li fight scenes. The problem with this, though, is you have to make DMX seem as badass as Jet Li.
Ain't gonna happen.
And he's not. The fight scenes are reasonably well choreographed. This just comes off. It's okay. It's not great. It's standard action movie. 2.5 shots of Kraken. It's for free on Amazon or Prime or Netflix. I think it's Netflix. So hey, I mean, free movies are good. But I wouldn't want to watch it again. I'll just try and find Exit Wounds because it's actually a better movie, or put in any number of better action movies with Jet Li in it. Seth, you better get one in edwise before Gonzo starts going.
Oh yeah, I got quite a few.
Gonzo, you're up.
Okay.
I don't even know if I watched TV this week.
That busy, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just go with an old one. I did some painting yesterday, and of course, Hellboy 2 was on. Click that on. Still an amazing movie. Still awesome.
Can I make a confession?
What?
I haven't seen Hellboy 2.
You're so fired.
Hey, it's not for free anywhere, and no one's ever loaned it to me.
HBO? Do you have HBO?
Nope.
No. It's on HBO On Demand. It's really good. I love the Hellboy with Ron Perlman. Can't wait to see how the new series is going to come out. But I mean, I saw Hellboy 1. I was like, oh, Hellboy 2 is on here. Let's go for it. And I love it. Yeah. Great, solid, good movie. Maybe one shot of Kraken if you're not into Hellboy, but got some great one-liners, great story. Keeps remembering me that I want to go and watch the prequel, pretty much, which is the new Del Toro. Shape of Water.
Shape of Water, yeah.
Yeah, which I can't wait to see because I just love Abe.
Yeah.
And everything. Other than that, my second one, let's go with Outlander.
Sean Connery?
No.
It's called Outland.
No,
Outlander, is that the Viking one?
Yes. Where an alien comes down into Viking timeline and hunts down an evil predator-type monster and becomes a Viking himself and blah, 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 and blee, 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 and... Okay, let's just go with this.
That sounds mediocre as fuck.
It was. It wasn't bad. It was just you saw every little thing, and they were pushing everything, and they were like, let's push all the Viking stuff we can, and oh, we figured out this new Viking game they did in the bar, in the halls where they run on top shields on everybody, where they put all these shields on each other's shoulders, and you had to drink and run around the shields, and whoever fell off was the loser. And I was like, the fuck? Oh, wait a minute. You're going to use that in the story where it's going to have to save the day. I get it. Yep.
So it's Chekhov's gun, but just shields.
Yes. And, I mean, it seems like they were trying to do... What was the one that... the Viking movie that was not too long... It was quite a while ago. Where they were hunting the bear.
13th Warrior.
13th
Warrior.
13th Warrior. That's a great movie.
Yeah, that was. It seems like they were trying to push for that type of feel of the movie, which did not go over very well.
Oof, that's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. If I were going to say anything, I'd say 2, maybe 3 shots of Kraken.
So
But,
standard action movie.
yeah, not bad, but I mean, it's just nah.
Not good. That's fair.
Yeah. So, other than that, I have 2 others to go, but I'll let you. May also want to go for another one.
I'll go for one. The first one we watched yesterday, which was Clue.
Uh
If you have not seen Clue, it is the best board game-based movie out there. That actually is a genre. There are at least 2 movies in it.
What about
Not better than Battleship.
Oh,
Yeah.
loads better than Battleship.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, because Battleship was like the most awesome board game movie of all time.
Oh, I don't know. Clue's pretty awesome. Depends if you like Tim Curry or not. So the whole idea is the Clue board game. All these people get invited to a place, and they're using aliases out of the game because they're being blackmailed. And during the whole thing, their blackmailer, Mr. Body, 2Ds, shows up, and he ends up dead. And I was figuring out who killed him, searching the house, trying to find the killer. It's basically a big whodunit. The cast is... Okay, most of you youngins aren't going to recognize half the cast, but Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Tim Curry. It's got some fairly decent-sized names. And it's just a fun time. It's great humor, some good running jokes. None of the jokes overstay their welcome. It totally knows what it is and just plays it to the hilt. To the point where when they released it in the theaters, it had 3 endings.
Yes.
You went to a theater, you got one of those endings at random, which was probably the biggest mistake it made.
The biggest but the coolest mistake.
Yes. Now, on the Blu-ray, when you watch it, you can choose, do you want to see one of the endings at random, or do you want to see all 3? If it's your first viewing, I would say definitely go for one at random, because it'll be more interesting that way, and then the second time, just go for all of them. Because there are 3 endings, and they are different, and apparently they pay enough attention to make them all more or less work, which is cool. But overall, it's a fun movie. It's a good time, good humor. I give it 0 shots of crack, and I could sit down and watch it almost weekly if I had to.
Oh. Okay. Whew, that was weird.
Okay.
As long as you can
My
rotate
monitor went out
endings.
for a second.
What was that, Seth?
As long as you can rotate endings, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I usually watch all 3, but like if I was watching it weekly, you just go on the random ending and see, like, what ending we're going to see this time. All right, Gonzo, what's your next one?
My next one, God, this one I swear, worst movie from a video game to movie in my entire life.
Street Fighter.
No.
Mortal
Street Fighter
Kombat
was
2.
No, those you can tolerate because you can laugh about it, but the video game was revolutionary when it came out. Had an amazing story. First 3 were really good, then it went downhill, but Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah, I've heard not good things about that. I wanted it to be good, but...
Oh, they could have done so much with it. They could have just copied the original video game and did it, and it would have been amazeballs.
And they got good actors. They got Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, and he's a great actor, and I like him. But I mean, they took the story and went one way with it, changed all the different things from the way the video game was. The action was boring. Um,
That's
everything that
the
was
biggest
done.
sin there. You
Yeah,
can't have an action movie where the action's boring.
and I mean,
They beg to differ.
You shouldn't.
the stuff they did in that I understood that them doing subtitles from whenever he was in back in time,
Hmm.
so they could get the feel and the atmosphere and stuff, but it didn't work. It just felt choppy. The story didn't flow very well. They totally didn't do what the game was about. You didn't know that you were playing someone from the future in the past for a long time. So there was no reason for a lot of things to happen in the movie, and the way things were done, like the animacy in the thing, they sat down and just plugged in, and they had this huge robotic arm where they flipped, and he was in this virtual reality flipping in the air, and the robotic arm moved him all around so he could do all these stunts. And I was just like, no, fuck you. You ruined a perfectly good franchise that was good, because now it's pretty much crap now. But you could have done so much with that, and had so many sequels to go with it too. And it was just ass.
That's too bad.
It was bad.
That one looked like it had potential. Looks like it had good production value. Could have been really good.
Yeah, it could have been really good, and it just really irked me how bad it was. So.
Well, I hope your last one's good, because my last one is disappointing.
You go. I have actually two more.
Oh, you have more? More than one more? Oh, very well.
Oh, yeah.
So first off, let me just say, Johnny Depp is not what's wrong with this movie inherently. Johnny Depp's performance is okay. It's a little weird. They explain it during the movie. The only part of him that's a problem is the fact that he has to come with Helena Bonham Carter, who is unnecessary in the movie, and they really play it up. It's a really weird movie. It does not seem like a Gore Verbinski movie. It seems more like a Tim Burton movie. They go for his sort of quirky style on a couple things, and that's not even the worst problem with the movie. The worst problem with the movie is that it is paced like shit. Yes, that is actually the worst problem. It is paced because it starts off big action scene, not super logical, and then it's slow for a while with backstory and exposition and shit, and then little action scene and then slow. And it just keeps doing that back and forth till you get to the end. The last two action scenes, there's a little lull between them like you need to, but it's fairly well paced at that point. The problem is all the action is ridiculous. They were like, oh, people love Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's recapture that magic. And they didn't. They tried, and that's probably why they didn't, because they were trying too hard. Rather than trying to make a good Lone Ranger movie, they were trying to recapture the magic and start a new franchise when they should have just done a good Lone Ranger movie.
Yeah.
He goes the whole movie like, I'm not going to shoot people because I believe in justice and they should be tried for their crimes. Like, no, it's the Wild West. Shooting someone was justice. The whole point was vengeance. You're doing the things they can't do. It needed like 3 rewrites. I'd have to check on IMDb, but I have this feeling that those guys who wrote all that stuff during the early 2010s, who did the Transformers movie and Into Darkness and all that, I have this sinking suspicion they wrote this movie too. Overall, the saving grace is that it is relatively fun. It's safe for kids because there's almost no blood at all. People die, but it's like, oh, they could just be unconscious. It's nothing crazy there.
They're just taking a nap, Billy.
It's a Disney-fied movie, and it's extra Disney-fied. And it's just not great. 3 Shots of Kraken. If you gave me the choice, I'd rather watch Cradle of the Grave again, because it also doesn't take as long to get done. I own it on DVD. I bought it really cheap. I got my money's worth out of it, but it's still not good.
Mm-mm.
So disappointing, since I was such a big Lone Ranger fan. But luckily, I didn't choose it, so my roommate can't blame me for making her sit through another shitty movie.
I have one that's a TV show. Actually, they're both TV shows, by the way.
Okay.
And they just started this week or last week, and I watched the first 2 episodes of Inhumans,
Okay.
which was the new Marvel, series that goes off with the Agents of Shields about Inhumans and blah 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 blah. Watched the first 2 episodes of that, and it wasn't bad. It got really, really, really bad reviews, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was entertaining. You got to get used to it. Hopefully they integrate it with the other Marvel stuff within the TV shows and the movies, and there's some back and forth going on. But overall, it was still pretty good. I didn't have a problem. I'm looking forward to episode 3. Hopefully it'll keep going. And
Here's my number one question on it. Was it like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s first couple episodes where you feel like it's going to take a little bit to get started?
Yes, I do. Because it's a whole new series, a whole new thing, and it was kind of pushing the limit a bit. So yeah, I have no problem. I think it's going to be a little bit. I'm going to give it some time. I'm not arguing it. So yeah, if you like Agents of Shields, you like Marvel stuff, go watch it.
Cool. And for everyone who
sure.
didn't catch it, he actually talked about another TV show in the pre-ramble. If you're a patron, you can hear that and see what he talked about there.
And definitely you want to hear that because that was the other TV show I watched, and I am so stoked about it, and I want to see more of it. I can't wait for it. It's got a lot of good feels to me. I'm not a huge fan of that series, but I definitely can't wait to see more of it.
Cool.
So
I've got 2 final game things I want to talk about. Last week I was talking about a card builder sort of game, a deck builder game that I was playing. It's called Eschaton, Eschaton. It is super fun, very stylized. You're all cults preparing for the Dark Lord's return and the Armageddon. It's like a weird combination of kind of Risk plus deck builder that was very cool. I finally got that name. And another thing that is probably interest to everyone who's a Fury Road fan and very thematic, since that's the background up right now. I saw on Kickstarter or on Twitter, there's a guy getting ready to start a Kickstarter for a game called Road/Kill Vendetta, which looks like a small-scale vehicle combat sort of game, miniature game.
like Car Wars?
Like Car Wars, I asked him the scale because he had pictures but no scale. He said it's between 10 and 15 millimeter. He doesn't have an exact scale for it. The vehicles look pretty good. It's at Infinity's Gate, and he had some pictures there. It was super cool. It's worth looking out for. It should be on Kickstarter, he said, soon. And I'll keep an eye out for it because it looks like it could be a good small scale. And man, as much as I'd love, 30 millimeter sort of Fury Road Mad Max type of theme, I don't think it's going to happen.
Talking about games coming, or all that stuff. All the 2 Spartan games got picked up by another company, by the way.
Oh, excellent!
During the sale of their assets and stuff, another game company, I can't remember their name. I just saw it as a quick blurb. That they bought the Dystopian and Firestorm Armada.
Oh, excellent!
So
Excellent.
Those 2 games could be coming back.
Yeah, give them some time. It'll have to take time, but that's cool to see that they might be coming back.
So yeah, there's been definitely some change in that, which is good because that means people that bought that stuff can maybe have their stuff back again and play more. Seth, do you have anything you want to add?
I love you guys.
I love you too.
We love you too.
We need to hurry up and get you a camera so we can put that on there. We can put like a 3rd camera on there so you could see what you're painting. Because people want to see that.
Nobody needs to see the top of my head. I would definitely happily do that. Right now, what I'm working on is the OSL that is going to be on Gorman. And I've been doing, for people who've been wondering what the hell I've been doing, I've been holding up the base, which is one piece, and then the model, which is another, and making sure that they actually line up the way I think they're going to line up. But it's going to be, I think it's going to look really good in the end. Right now, I am going to start swearing at it because I think the AC just turned on, so my wet palette just became a very dry palette.
Oh,
Well, hopefully, like I said, we'll get Seth to put some work in progress pictures up for next week's or next month, I should say, or this month since it's now October. Woo woo, October.
it is October. Year's almost over.
I know. Awesome.
Where did it go?
That way.
Oh.
So Seth will put up some work in progress for the people that want to be part of the. Put $15 in, so you can get a free miniature from Seth. I wouldn't say it's really free, but it does help us out a lot. Other than that, be on the lookout pretty soon if you're a $2 plus subscriber for your dice to come in the mail. They're an awesome blue. I've been using them. They roll really, really well. They're really. When I was rolling them, I actually had to question my rolling at them, and I started rolling them just to make sure because of the way it was printed and everything was fine, but was really, really happy with them. Other than that, hopefully people will show up at War Machine Weekend. If you see me at War Machine Weekend, let me know. I will have some stuff to give away. As, hey, we listened to your podcast. I'm like, oh, thank you. Give you a hug, beer, and I may give a prize away or two. Other than that, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
And I'm Seth.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right. This is how I sound with a brush in my mouth when I do the thing.
I didn't get drunk tonight, so what's wrong with me?
I totally got drunk off of 2 Smirnoff Ices. Yeah, not really.
I was out of drink in the first 5 minutes of the show. I did not plan that well.
Don't you have like someone that can go get you drinks for you?
No, that's the problem, is that she only brings me random things. Occasionally it's short ribs, that's amazing. Tonight, crispy M&M's.
I like some crispy M&Ms. I'm actually about to go get some ice cream. Ice cream!